Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. I can't even see. Well, I guess y'all can't see me either. So let's just do it like this right now, since I'm not appropriate, as they say right now. How about we just do it like this? I want to welcome y'all, and I need to get some feedback from all y'all out there today, because this is one of the stories that um, everybody's talking about it. Everybody has their take on it. I was I was actually, I had just turned 30 when this happened. And I'm talking about Ava DuVernay's special when she talks, when they see us. Um, and as far as I'm concerned, it is the closest depiction of what happened during that time and how those boys were railroaded. I'll never forget it. Um, and it was just one of a million other dozens of railroaded cases that we go through every day, like the Scottsboro boys, Scottsboro Six, um, and just a continuous life full of being the scapegoat for this narcissistic society that has deemed us um, the they're the you know we're the host for the parasites, okay, and the parasites have been of the government of America operating against us, and that's the only way you can explain it. The savagery of putting a 13 and 14, 15-year-old young men in jail and just taking their lives on something that you're not 100% sure of, but because they did it, if all blacks were in the park, they're all suspects. And the fact that you can have that kind of spirit let me know that, that's, and to have a high office. And this is what the scary part for me is, because most of these positions, or these people that hold high positions, I should say, check their records and look at their behavior, because when they're used to being in authority, or when they're, and I'm saying this because that's how I keep myself in check, um, because I want to do the right thing. I don't want to be an individual that is um, mentally ill, basically. But if you look at most of these entities that govern us with authority, most of them are very narcissistic. And you look at us, we're the scapegoat, and that's black and brown bodies. So like I said, we're the host for the parasites. And so when we go into this article, and I got to go into this because this was so sad, the Central Park Five and that prosecutor, Linda Fairstein, um, and the reason why I have to do it is because she still doesn't have a repentant heart. She's still sitting up here saying that, defending herself after DNA was found, after the boys were acquitted, the young men, after knowing that she had ruined these young men's lives, and the best thing she can still say is she did the right thing. We may not like Bill Clinton, a lot of us, but at least he is taking full responsibility for the mass incarceration rate that he did in destroying our communities and destroying our families. And when we have with Linda Fairstein, she's not willing to admit that what she did was a problem. And see, it's these kind of thinking individuals that need to be dealt with in one way, shape, form, or fashion. And I think that's the people are doing a great job in putting pressure on and signing that petition that's out there at change.org, and they're urging publishers and booksellers to abandon the bestseller author, okay, because of her role. And so I'm just going to share this article with you because I'm not going to make this one too long. But first of all, my shout out goes to all those brothers that kept their sanity in a world that's so insane. The children that were taken in, but they came out as men, broken men, who've had to repair themselves, and it's a lifelong continuous battle. And the people that don't think about that is because they don't get stuff plucked out. People that think that this is, oh well, they'll get over it. Oh, get over it. It's kind of hard to do when somebody just repositions your life and you have to, like a phoenix, rise out of the ash. It's very difficult. Excuse me. But I'm going to read this. In Battle Central Park 5, prosecutor Linda Fairstein resigned under fire from her positions at the Vassar College and the board of directors at the God's Love We Delivery charity. Yeah, you should have. And Safe Horizon nonprofit. She did step down and we accepted her resignation today, said Terrence Meck, chairman of the board at God's Love. This is an internal letter only and we are not sharing its contents. Vassar College President Elizabeth Bradley, in a statement to the school community, explained that the massive backlash against Fairstein since the airing of the fictionalized Netflix series When They See Us led the lawyer to walk away from the college's board of trustees. I am told that Mrs. Fairstein felt that given the recent widespread debate over her role in the Central Park case, she believed that her continuing as a board member will be harmful to Vassar. Okay. Fairstein served for close to 2 decades with God's Love, but her charitable efforts disappeared in the flood of negative publicity sparked by the new recounting of the Central Park 5 prosecution. Fairstein, as head of the Sex and Crimes Unit in Manhattan District Attorney's Office, led the case against the quintet. All was convicted, jailed, and later cleared in the case. In director Ava DuVernay's version of the headline 1989 case, Fairstein, played by Felicity Huffman, who did a wonderful job, by the way, is portrayed as a prosecutor who decides early on that the boys are guilty and never wavers from that belief. And see, that's what kills justice. Their face was the past to their crime. There were reportedly calls for Fairstein, 72, to leave her position on the board of Safe Horizon, a New York nonprofit aiding victims of abuse and violent crime. A petition drive called for her ouster from Vassar College Board of Trustees before Fairstein opted to remove herself. Nearly 57,000 people signed the Change.org petition, and they urged the publishers and booksellers to abandon the bestseller mystery offer over her role in the 1989 attack in the Central Park, where a jogger was attacked, raped, and nearly beaten to death. Linda Fairstein achieved her fame and fortune through her wild imagination and at the expense of 5 innocent children's pain, read the post with the petition. Because of her shameful past, I am starting a petition to ask all retailers and book publishers to stop selling Linda Fairstein books or any product that has ties to her. Fairstein was also forced to shut down all of her social media accounts. Though the 5 teens arrested that night were convicted, all were exonerated after another man admitted to rape, a claim confirmed by a DNA match. The defendants reached a $41 million settlement with the city in 2014, although Fairstein has continued to defend her role in the prosecution. Just 2 months ago, the e-prosecutor hosted the 16th annual Authors of Kind Benefit for God's Love, a literary luncheon where guests gathered to hear well-known authors speak and sign copies of their book. No thank you. The sad part about this whole thing is that they took these children and without the parents being present, interrogated these boys, coerced them, beat them into confessions, just what they do on a daily basis. And that's why, in terms of how I see the criminal justice system, it cannot be fixed. The way this country was set up, it was set up to run the way it's running now. A lot of people, we talk about a broken system. No, the system is running perfectly. It is running to keep black and brown bodies at bay, incarcerated, locked up, behind the eight ball, killed, whatever negative enforcement that you can do on black and brown bodies is all okay once you derive a system that minimizes and devalues black and brown bodies. Once you create a system like that, it becomes very difficult to get out of that. And the sad part about it is not just for the victims of this, people, the black and browns, but it is, this kind of thinking has hurt white folks as well. They have a false sense of who they are. They have a false sense of how they are represented as a human family. They have a false sense of and an arrogance that has allowed them to think that everything that the world that they're receiving is a natural world and not a world that was constructed by a bunch of racists. And the fact that they can't even get there, it goes to show you that their thinking has been changed and altered just as well as the victims' thinkings have been changed and altered. Those of us who have been victims of white supremacy and just the overall oppression and oppressive life that we have to live. And that's just the way it is. It doesn't sound right to some people, and they say, "Oh, you're paying the race card." Well, all the cards are race cards, so it's kind of hard not to play them. But I encourage you, for those of y'all who are under a rock, who haven't seen the Little Menace series, and it's done in 4 parts, called When They See Us, I encourage you to watch the series. Watch the series. And if you have anything positive to say about the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, then I know that you're part of the problem. Alright? Alright, with that being said, y'all, please give me your comments. Tell me what you think about it. If you've seen it, if you haven't, what did you pull out of it? What did you think about Linda Fairstein? Do you think it's right with the backlash that she's suffering now? Do you think that they should ease up on her because it was 30 years ago? My child, my last child was born in 89. So that's like 30 years ago. April. So yeah, it definitely is 30 years ago. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think, okay? Alright, like what you hear, please share and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video.